Here's a look right now at a bright and early Sunday morning in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates. Third round coverage coming at you live in about 14 minutes, 10:30 Eastern time. You're going to see the conclusion of the third round. Remember, they also have the final round still to play. Two of the top 6 players in the world tied for the lead. Rory McIlroy is at 10 under par halfway through his third round. Ricky Fowler making a charge. He's at a 10 under as well. World number 1, Jordan Spieth, is 3 back thanks to a third round 68. He's hoping to go low on Sunday to grab his second straight victory. That's all coming at you straight ahead on this edition of Golf Central.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
Hey there, welcome to Golf Central. I'm George Savaricas with Golf Channel analyst Brandel Chambly. We'll get to the Abu Dhabi HSBC Golf Championship in just a bit, but first, the PGA Tour champions. What a performance by Duffy Waldorf.
Well, it was neck and neck. Tom Lehman, Duffy Waldorf, 2 good guys. Duffy Waldorf, a member of the 1985 Walker Cup team. On that team was also Davis Love, Scott Verplank. Duffy Waldorf, after going 0 for 72 of his first Champions Tour events, is now 2 for 3 because he won Toshiba at the end of the last year and then won to start this year. It was tremendous stuff by a really good guy. Now 4 wins on the PGA Tour, 2 wins on the Champions Tour, and what a way to start the year.
Good little run as he takes the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. Now let's set the stage for the Abu Dhabi HSBC Golf Championship. Take a look at the third round highlights. He was one of the few guys who was able to finish the third round, Jordan Spieth.
And here he is at his best. Last year, as a matter of fact, he was the very best on the PGA Tour out of the left rough. That means that he has an upright swing and is comfortable hitting big draws like that one for a tap-in birdie. He sandwiched 73 with bookend 68s.
And that was a bogey-free 68, got him 3 back. Rory McIlroy finishing his second round on the par 5 18.
Here he is from 270 yards. Look at the clubhouse. Made to look like an eagle. Well, that's exactly what Rory had in mind when he hit this shot. Very nearly a double eagle. The average from that distance is almost 65 feet. That was 6 inches away. Spectacular shot by Rory.
Heck of a turnaround. He was 5 under to start the day, got it all the way to 10 under par through 9 holes in his third round. Ricky Fowler.
Rory started kind of slow in this championship, but as the week's gone on, he has gotten better. So much so, in fact, by the end of the day, he was 10 under par and one of the co-leaders.
So Ricky Fowler 4 under through 11 in his third round. Ian Poulter has had the putter working.
Amongst those who ended the day at 10 under par, only 2 of them have 12 wins. Rory McIlroy, who I suspect will have many more, and that man right there, Ian Poulter.
It's been a few years since Poult's last win. Henrik Stenson, who's just one off the lead.
3 of the 4 highest-ranked players in this field are either tied for the lead or 1 shot back. Henrik Stenson, 5th in the world, 1 shot back.
Brandon Grace, he had himself a day. Par 4 first for birdie.
He had himself a year in 2015, and he's picking up in 2016 right where he left off. A bit of an awkward-looking putting stance setup, but it certainly works for a very talented player.
Not the most artistic by any means, but effective. Joost Luiten.
Joost Luiten has won 4 times on the European Tour, but he's been in a bit of a dearth, so to speak, in the win column. Looking to change that, and he is one of the 5 men tied at 10 under par.
Andy Sullivan was your 36-hole leader, had it to 12 under at one point, and then it all disappeared on the ninth.
We have seen a lot of awkward shots on the ninth. Missing left, missing right. There's trouble on both sides of it, and, well, it got the better of Andy Sullivan, and that dropped him to over par on the day. Matter of fact, in the top 21 in this event, only 2 players were over par in the third round. That's Andy Sullivan and Bryson DeChambeau, both in the final group with your leader, one of them anyway, Rory McIlroy.
Andy Sullivan having to sleep on that triple bogey as he still has 27 holes left to play in this championship. The current leaderboard as it shakes out right now. You see those 5 guys all tied at 10 under par. Then there's a host of guys at 9 under, just a shot back. All told, 30 players at or within 4 shots of the lead, Brandel. So we're looking ahead to round 3. Rory McIlroy in the driver's seat, as is Ricky Fowler.
Well, he's tied, right? But I'm sure the bookmakers are going to give Rory McIlroy the edge. And as a matter of fact, something about this golf course brings the best out in Rory McIlroy. He's intimated in his past that he didn't really like links golf, in spite of the fact that he's now an Open champion. But the opposite of links golf is desert golf. There are very few variables that are going to disrupt things out there. Not a lot of wind, not a lot of funny bounces. The golf course is in perfect condition. This brings the best out in Rory McIlroy, not only from a temperament standpoint, but from an execution standpoint. The last couple of years, he's led this field in greens in regulation. Last year, he hit 64 greens in regulation. He's doing the same this week. But tied with him, Brandon Grace, who is going to do miraculous things over the next 5-10 years in professional golf. He is so talented, and obviously so is Ricky Fowler. And Ian Poulter, well, he's a bit of a dice roll. You never know what you're going to get out of him. But again, he's playing beautiful.
Brandon Grace, kind of the forgotten third man of Chambers Bay. He was one errant driver swing away from possibly sneaking up and winning that.
Well, not only did he play well there, he played very well at the PGA Championship.
All righty. So, folks, we're just a little less than 10 minutes away until you can catch the conclusion of the third round live here on Golf Channel, 10:30 Eastern Time. Rory McIlroy with 9 holes still to play. Ricky Fowler on the course as well. You're going to see a slew of big names who have to wrap up their third round. That's at 10:30 Eastern Time. All right, let's take a look at the third round of the Career Builder Challenge. Here's Phil Mickelson playing his approach to the par 4 second.
Just 77 yards, found the fairway, and that's, well, what Phil's been doing with some regularity this week, and spot on with the iron. Gets going in the right direction. And watch this, folks. He'd already holed out 3 times this week. Once from the fairway for eagle, twice around the green for birdie. Make it 4. Matter of fact, in Phil's career, believe it or not, and it's a long one, a successful one, he's never had more hole-outs in a championship or tournament than he's had this week thus far.
And I love Brett Waldman's reaction. Charlie Hoffman's caddy just shaking his head like, you got to be kidding me again. Here's Jamie Lovemark.
Jamie Lovemark, formerly the best college player in 2007, started his career in 2009, lost in a playoff until this season. That was his only top 10 on the PGA Tour, but he's had 2 in place and heading in the right direction. Meanwhile, Jason Duffner, who's always a threat from tee to green, but rarely a threat on the greens, thanks to shots like that, has much improved his putting. 180th in strokes gained putting coming into this week, in the top 20 right now.
And he had the putter working.
He is. Matter of fact, if you watch him, he's got a lot of movement in his body. In my opinion, he sets up a little too far away from it, but the putter arced beautifully there, to the inside going back, to the inside going through, and a nice release. And look at those scores.
No one able to make up ground on Duffner. He had a 1-shot lead coming into the third round, shoots a 64, now has a 2-shot cushion. You see some of the numbers out there. Adam Hadwin shoots 64, can't make up any ground. Jamie Lovemark, a 65, loses a shot. So you can catch final round coverage right here on Golf Channel, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Phil Mickelson with that 66 in a tie for 5th, 6 back of your leader. The final round of the Mitsubishi Electric Championship, the PGA Tour Champions season debut. Davis Love III was just a shot back in the lead coming into the final round.
Well, that's right. He was a shot back until this putt. And a beautiful putt at that, down the hill, breaking left to right. So easy to miss that one on the low side, perfectly placed.
That was about as close, though, as he could come. Here is Tom Lehman.
The only man in history to lead the Web.com Tour money list, the PGA Tour money list, and the Champions Tour money list. For a man who only won 5 times on the PGA Tour, he has gotten a lot out of his game.
Let's move ahead to the 12th. Tom Lehman, once again, trying to add to his cushion.
Yes, he is. Great stroke here. Not known as a great putter, but certainly underrated in that regard.
You thought he was starting to get a little breathing room, but Duffy Waldorf was making sure that margin was as thin as possible.
Well, 102 yards is pretty spot on for a sand wedge, so sometimes you get the right number and you hit the right shot.
So Duffy Waldorf able to convert as we move ahead to 15. More from Lehman.
Another good look for birdie, and again, down the hill, breaking left to right. Couldn't draw it up any better than that. This is a man who's won everywhere. Europe, Japan, Web.com Tour, Champions Tour. He won the Varden Trophy in 1996 on the PGA Tour. He's done so much, and this man is trying to chase him down, Duffy Waldorf.
Duffy Waldorf answering right back on 16. So let's set the stage. 18, they're both tied. Waldorf with a longer birdie try.
Putt you dream of. Absolutely dream of. And he had to know that was going in from start to finish, and believe it or not, Tom Lehman with a good look comes up short.
Agonizingly short. Tom Lehman can't believe it, seemingly in control of that final 9, but Duffy Waldorf drops the birdie putt on the 54th hole as he is able to get the victory. A final round 66. He wins by 1. As Brandel mentioned earlier, that is his second win on the PGA Tour Champions in his last 3 starts. He takes the season opener in Hawaii. So in just less than 5 minutes from now, we're taking you out live to Abu Dhabi. Rory McIlroy, one of the 5 co-leaders, Henrik Stenson, just a shot back. We're going to have more on Golf Central after this short break.
Golf Central, brought to you by
Titleist, the #1 ball at the Career Builder Challenge. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf.
Shipsticks, the largest golf bag shipping company in the world, simplifying the way you travel.